Calling you a radical, this is a real important video I want to talk about, because I don't talk about this is a big piece of my activism. AML leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Everybody thinks, oh, I remember a cop pulled me over when I was in the middle of the night going back in there. I was real sick and I was in so much pain. Oh, have you had your transplant yet? No, I'm not going to have one. What? So this is important. Annie's died. She was the big activist that did so much for the database center for bone marrow transplants. It's important. Now, they found a match for me. Believe it or not, it was a girl in Manhattan. So they're using half matches more and more now. Now, you know, I was diagnosed right there in that room, looking up all those houses. All my work, my PhD, the cause and effect of the Fukushima catastrophe, I was working on when I got sick. I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in my lymph nodes, AML misdiagnosed right here. I mean, it was a long, ugly battle. I found a YouTube video, blah, blah. But Vincent Hansen, who I knew since I was a boy, my uncle started the Ogden Clinic. Don't let them open you unless you're going to die. So they wanted to gut me. Well, it's called de novo. It's leukemia that present tumors, non-Hodgkin's lymphomas, and that's what they want to do is cut and gut. Thank God I denied that. Thank God Vincent Hansen right here, the San Diego girl, I just talked to her. I hug her every time I see her. And then finally, my 15th time into the bone marrow trials. This is a fact. The emergency room at I used to call McQuack D, this doctor, and they scanned me because my neighbor was the girl that scanned me that night. I was puking up out of my... They found the tumors. Or excuse me, he scanned me. He said he looked at it right and didn't see the tumors. He didn't look. He was a scumbag because I was uninsured. So back then, it was a female doctor. I just ran into her the first time not long ago after all these years. So you remember that night? Yeah. I remember coming in the room and telling you. She put a lot of time in it. Kevin, you're plumb full of cancer. Misdiagnosed. They wanted to gut me. This Dr. Tao scoped me and blamed it all on an ulcer. I don't know how they didn't kill me. Bad doctors, bad. But finally, I got to Vincent. And he's like, thank God you didn't have that. This is important because I didn't have the bone marrow transplant. So, Fimbo Peterson from Denmark, Vincent Hansen got together. This, Danish boys, no... Vincent's known me since I was a kid. He talked him into taking me. He says, Kevin's the toughest guy I've ever known. I mean, I wouldn't send a 51-year-old in with this. This cancer's wicked in you, Kevin. I went in there. It was horrible. Celeste says I'm the only red 10 in the history of the bone marrow transplant center. She's the secretary. She says, I prepared your paperwork when you went in. We prepared you as a red 10. I fully prepared to do your paperwork that week in a body bag going out. You're the only red 10 I've ever seen in my 26 years here. But Fimbo took that unit over, turning in Danish philosophy medicine, these Weber State nurses, and they saved my life. Now, this is important for all you people, real important, that I talk about this, because there's an article in KSL talking about bone marrow transplants. Bone marrow transplants don't work all that often. I mean, the younger the better. Like, I stand at Light the Night with the survivors, and they're all young. They're getting better. So Brian Morris, my close, beautiful beast of a friend, he used to come into my room. They opened him and gave him the surgery on de novo. Now, Carla, Kevin and Carla, they used to call us Kevin and Carla Ogden, ran the marathon. She had ML de novo in her breast. Carla Hennessy. Now, her husband he's an incredible activist for Light the Night. They're the #1 fundraisers in the whole region every year. He's a gem. Carla died when I was speaking at the hearing when I went to California and spoke sick. That's how we got sent off shut. My cancer was paramount in that shutdown. Now, we have a national database, but the problem is, so I've always pushed to pay. We can sell our blood. Why can't young people sell their bone marrow? I think it's important. Now, California passed a bill to sell bone marrow, $3,000 to get into the database. Heavy regulated. Why didn't it happen? We don't have enough. And it has to be young people. I mean, strong. So this is important. So Brian came into my room. He's a 1%er like me. Says, they sent me home to die. And Fimbo Peterson, finish that. I mean, Brian was militant as hell. He was a superstar linebacker at the University of Utah East High. But I mean, beast. I mean, a beast. He's like, no. And he says, what would you do? And he says, Fimbo says, I just don't think you'll survive the bone marrow transplant. They packed the shit up and went home, and he didn't die. So, but 8 years later, it came back. That's what it does. You know, I know that. 9 years later, it came back on him this year. I don't know how he's not dead. So they did a half match with his son. By the way, his son's named Winston. For all you, Winston's girlfriend, you know, 1984 on Balco on chemo. And he didn't name him after that. I think it's funny. So he had the bone marrow transplant. It did not work. So they have this new juice. So stem cell boost. You know, it was a stem cell transplant from the son, a half match. They know, I have a twin sister. They says, we don't want that match, blah, blah, blah. Well, come a time will I'll get one? I don't know. I just got to be militant and keep going. You know, hopefully I'll be back in Monterey, dead tide pool jumping here ASAP. I got to raise money. You know, I can't be sleeping on the beach anymore in my health condition. The chemo wore up my valve. My gallbladder ruptured, as you know. This historic, incredible fight. You know, I've been through, I mean, my teeth are, you don't even want to know this fight. So they gave him this juice. It worked. He's alive. Now, he lost his wife over this. He lost everything. That's the fight's that long. Now, Mike Lee, this is important. Mike Lee got $600,000 in a bank bill. Mike Lee, because Brian's divorced now too, because that's what our women do. Our women leave us because we go broke. And, you know, how do you work? I mean, look what I've done. Work. This is like 10 jobs. I just keep fighting through. I'm at 1% survival. I wear a 1% survival bracelet. You know, I'm in the study. I'm in lots of studies. You know, risk takers. But Mike Lee kicked single males off our Medicaid. Now, remember John Huntsman Sr. went psycho about it because Hunts were chemical, which we call the luxury good of death. Go to Huntsman, eat your good food, freaking stay in the hotel and die. And this is LDS administrators' wars. You know, it's not run by the church. It has nothing to do with it. You know, he took it over. They saved my life, and they're all Weber State nurses. It's intense as fuck in there. People don't know AML, leukemia, non-Hodgkin at the same fucking time. No one survives it. It's impossible surviving. You know, go ask Vincent. You don't believe me. He'll tell you. He'll say Kevin Blanch is the biggest miracle in my 40-year career. But he just seen me the other day. I'm up here getting my blood work now because I like doing them on Sundays. Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid. Went after me. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I was a millionaire. Forked it over. I was uninsured. You know, I forked everything I had over. You know, I had all that Tesla stock, remember? Not meant to be. Put me on Medicaid for a very short period of time. Mike Lee kicked me off. Right as I was due to have my gallbladder cut out. I couldn't have surgery. It almost cost me He tried to murder me. After all the money I've paid into this system here, everything I've done for this state, you know, first guy buried in the cemetery is my great-great-grandfather, first whitey. So, I didn't have a transplant. I was standing right there. Let's bone marrow biopsy you one more time because we're just not seeing any recovery. And if you ever had a bone marrow biopsy, they're wicked. I've had 12 of them. That's my goal in life, not to have another bone marrow biopsy or a PET scan again. We've went blind. Dr. Mitchell, I'll never forget him. I'm standing right there. My mom's dying of cancer in here. So I came from LDS. I was here, had the central line in me in May 2012. Well, the results, it's life or death. Those, you know, and I didn't hear from usually, we're not good. So I call, you know, the lab. Kevin, the doctor wants to talk to you. Right then I says, that's it. I'm going to die. I'd already been in this abstract place when a doctor looks you right in the eyes right there and tells you, what is it? It's bad cancer. You'll be dead within 2 months by Christmas. This is in October 2011. Next doctor comes in and says, my wife had stage 4 breast cancer. She cried herself tonight, but then finally she just accepted it. Yeah, I want to punch him in the face. Japanese doctor in there told me, go home and die. I ever see that dude? I told my attorney, I'll do the time first. Fight like a girl, boy. People have no clue how intense it is in a bone marrow transplant. I says, come on, come in with me. Come in with me. Nobody will go because they're weaklings and cowards. They can't handle it. That place will break your heart. Melissa and, you know, Megan, the 2 fingertip massage therapists who watch my videos, I changed their whole world. You know, these sexy-ass, beautiful freaking Ogden girls who would fingertip massage my body stark naked, every inch of it for free, just out of the goodness and the love of their heart for me to try to live. You know, they came in with me. Spent the whole day on a field trip. Should have seen those 2 cry. You see people sucked up to 80. Oh, we're going to run to Rick Simpson. Fucking that sank old salesman. This is acute. Anyway, the doctor uses acute on you. It's on. You're probably going to be dead soon. We need a database. We need to be able to sell bone marrow. She did so much for this cause. I mean, what an activist she was. She died just the last few days. It was at Jimmy's funeral yesterday. What a great funeral, my good, beautiful friend. They've turned us into a bunch of panty painter weaklings when we were just, you know, that's not who we are. We have to fight back. Brian's alive. It cost him everything. You know, that's what happens to us. You know, Henry Miller, I was at the library, and his quote saved me a lot. The artist not becomes lonely. The artist needs the loneliness. So I guess my path, huh? She's gone now. Back to I need to raise some funding. You know, I've got to stay in the hotel. The hotel I stay in Monterey is $90 a night, and that's dirt cheap. You know, I got to get back there ASP. Maybe spend Christmas there. What a great activist she was. It's been heartbreaking the last few days. You see all these fighters go. Brian's came back after 9 years. I'm 8 years out. I know it's only a matter of time. I know that. You know, the stem cell boost has kept him alive. Mike Lee kicks us off Medicaid. He gets $600,000 a bank. You know, they garnish your wages here. Huntsman Cancer Institute for a phone call. Why I was going in and out of a coma was calling me. They sued me. Why I was dying for $1,300 for a phone call. This is what Utah is, and they call themselves Christians. They're not Christians. You know, the Mormon Church, they're haters. Their big claim to fame is they kick people off. They are kicking people off with leukemia and bone marrow transplants, kicking them off food stamps. I mean, I don't know how I didn't starve to death. Wipes you out. What are you going to do? I mean, this is a long, radical, intense fight. This is not, oh, you're all better. Fucking doesn't work that way. So, thank you for your beautiful activism, young lady. Your activism matter. You changed the world. You can see how much I love you. You know, will be a time when I get mine? I don't know. So, I didn't have one, so I'll tell you this great story and then cut this off. I grew up right here. Ogden Clinic started by my uncle, saved my life from the grave, saved so many people's lives. He died of cancer. So did his wife. Vincent's old business partner. Kevin, we got to do the PET scan today. They didn't want to do PET scans because, you know, they feel you drink the glucose and you sleep in that tunnel for a half hour black, and then they turn it on. You're in there for 22 minutes. They scan, and the glucose attaches to all the cells. You got to put yourself in your happy place while you're out. You drink this, and you've got to go in your happy place. I says, that's easy. My happy place is right here. This used to be called Glassman Pond. It was so beautiful. Biggest deer I ever saw right here. This piece of landscape in South Ogden, Utah is grand. I mean, take your breath away. Right here with two really beautiful girls. I was 18 years old. I remember I just met them that day. Come on. We're right here at the pond. Stark naked, skinny dipping, all of us. Whoa, talk about erotica. They call it erotica in the camp thing. You need it. And that's not just all sexual. Erotica has to stimulate cells. I would sing, I'd go crazy. And my radical rants and my intensity, there you have it. There's a method behind my madness. Erotica, fighting for the sea. Look, the things I've seen in the last 8 years, being on the ocean, whatever, take your fucking breath away. I mean, sweet are the uses of adversity. Sleeping on park benches, sleeping in fucking, I mean, you wouldn't believe where I sleep. Ask Peter. Sleep on the fucking beach, literally. You know, can't do that this time of year, but the people I've met, talk about erotica. Oh, Lori, Lisa, you know, I won't stop there. Wow. It's been intense, but the fight goes on. There's no days off with this fight. I'm in my happy place. Right here, right now. It's a beautiful place that we ruined. Turned into the corner of banned consumption. Right there. Given 2 months to live. I'll never forget that abstract night. My daughter, I says, I don't feel like I'm going to die. My daughter says, I don't either. Looking out over here, multiple doctors tell you you're going to die. You don't think that changes your fucking world? If it doesn't, you're not human. Thank you for your beautiful activism, young lady. You probably saved a lot of people's lives. Probably thousands of lives. Talk about a life that matters. We're all going to die. But only the good die young. Only the good die young. I got work to do. Stand